So I've been sitting on this Saudi Prince thing for a minute. I want Valiant Renegade and Mexican Iron Man to weigh in for me on this.
Okay.
Okay, and it doesn't have to be about a Saudi prince necessarily, but this is an opportunity for all of us to learn about something that happens inside business. Now, let's say that anybody, it doesn't have to be a Saudi prince. It can be someone inside the CCP. It can be someone who is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu artist who's made it up to the billionaire status. I don't care. But if someone makes an offer that's credible to the Walt Disney Company, and they say, I'm going to offer you 8 billion, 10 billion, 12 billion. I don't care what the number is. It's just a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So let's put that category a lot. If an individual offers the Disney Company a lot for Star Wars, what happens? What is required to happen, given that Disney is a publicly traded global corporation? What protocols have to come into place, and will we know about those if this is true? That's all I need to know.
Once it reaches a certain point, then we have, and y'all saw this, we've covered this before, and Pro knows what I'm about to say. We covered this extensively here on this channel, live streams and videos. When there was solicitation going on for the whole board issue, they had to make SEC filings about the whole Nelson Peltz thing. Something like this would potentially rise to that same level, of course. Now, it's got to be a legitimate offer. We can go back and see that the SEC filing that Disney had to do. In fact, I think Jonas even posted it in our private back channels earlier today when they unveiled all the communications between Iger, the Walt Disney Company, and George Lucas back in 2012 when they went to the shareholders. And Bob Iger had to file an SEC report and petition the shareholders. This is what we're looking to do. We're looking to buy Star Wars for $4 billion. Here's why. And I find it funny because even in that SEC filing, Bob Iger, little tidbit y'all might not have known, I'd forgotten about this, so thanks to Jonas for reminding me of it, was that even in the SEC filing and the report to shareholders, Bob Iger touted the fact that we're also buying treatments for the next 3 movies, which we plan to make. The first one of which, George Lucas's treatments, is going to come out in 2015. Didn't happen. Of course, they made their own version, right? They sold it to the shareholders as we're going to buy these treatments from Lucas, but then they just didn't use them. So that's a story for another day. But the point is that you'd have to make a public filing at that point if there's a serious offer on the table for something like that. So
not necessarily. They could go into executive session, and once they have something approved in executive session, then it could be a matter for disclosure. It would not be disclosed at this point. No way, no how.
No, not at this point. But I'm saying if they were to get an offer that they were going to proceed with, it would be, is my point.
Right. If they were going to proceed with it and it came out of exec session, because most of the business that happens
you never
in
hear
corporations,
about.
You never hear about it, and we never hear about it, except like that, the SEC filing from last Friday where they want to write down another $400 million. They did that Friday at the last minute because they had to do it. That is the last thing that they want to do. Publicly traded companies in the modern era do almost everything in executive session, and we never find out about it until it's too late.
And okay, right, so let me go back then.
Report. Yeah.
As I play the role of the average viewer asking these types of questions, and we're all learning together. So, Mike, when it comes to fiduciary responsibility, that the C-suite of Disney, the board, etc., are all supposed to be subservient to. They're supposed to have the interests of the stockholders at heart. Can they, in this executive function of theirs, can they say, we've got an offer here for 10 billion, or we're just throwing a number out? Can they say 8 billion, 12 billion? It doesn't matter. Can they look at that and say, we are not going to pursue it. We're not going to explain why. We're not going to pay attention to whether or not it is better for our company, better for our stockholders. Can they completely just toss it out and move forward and we never know about it?
Absolutely, because there could be a variety of other reasons. They could say, we're not going to entertain this because we don't want to go through the Federal Trade Commission scrutiny levels that it's going to take in case there's competitive policies, monopoly issues. There could be a case where the timing doesn't work. There could be a case where they can't. There's 100 reasons why they could get an offer on the table and validate the cash is in the bank and not proceed.
Yeah.
Coach, do you have enough money to buy Star Wars?
I don't have enough money to buy 7-Up.
Okay, well, if you don't have enough money to buy Star Wars, you're in the same category as George Lucas.
That caught me off guard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.